Imagine buying a week's worth of groceries and walking out with more than food. You might be carrying a strip of green stamps, a numbered metal tag for bags waiting somewhere outside, and a warm paper sack of coffee you had just ground yourself seconds ago. Near the entrance, a child could be rocking on a coin-operated horse while, a few feet away, another shopper quietly tested a burned-out television tube. The old supermarket was not simply a place to grab dinner and leave. In many communities, it was part shop, part service counter, part household supply station, and part weekly ritual. It asked something of you and it gave something back. So what happened to all of that? The answer is not that stores suddenly got worse. They became faster, cheaper to operate, easier to standardize, and far less dependent on human hands. But in gaining all that convenience, grocery shopping quietly lost a surprising amount of texture, the little details that made a trip to the store feel like an event. One of the clearest examples began right at the checkout. Programs like SNH green stamps turned an ordinary grocery bill into a slow-moving household reward. The cashier handed over small stamps based on what you spent, and at home you pasted them, one by one, into paper booklets. Filling those books took real patience. The reward wasn't just another discount on groceries, it was the possibility of choosing something for the house. Maybe a toaster, a lamp, a set of dishes, some everyday treasure picked out at a redemption center. You were, in a strange way, saving up your loyalty. Supermarkets also ran weekly continuity promotions. A family might buy one volume of an encyclopedia this week, then come back for the next volume the following week. Other promotions offered matching plates, glasses, or serving pieces, one new piece at a time. And here's the clever part. It wasn't about the object itself. It was about the unfinished set sitting at home. Once you had the first few pieces, skipping a week suddenly felt like breaking the collection. Grocery stores were selling food, but they were also quietly giving households a reason to build their entire week around one particular store. Quick question before we go deeper and be honest. Would you have had the patience to lick and paste hundreds of tiny stamps just to earn a toaster? Tell me in the comments. And if you're already enjoying this trip back in time, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button now, because the strangest thing on this list is still coming, and you do not want to miss it. Because that same store required an enormous amount of invisible work before a customer ever reached the register. Look closely at an old can or cereal box and you may find a small price stamped directly onto it. Before barcode scanning became common, someone had to physically put that price there. Clerks moved through the aisles with handheld price markers, touching item after item, peeling and changing labels every time a price moved. Even a simple sale could trigger another whole round of work, because the shelf, the package, and the register all had to agree. At checkout, the cashier couldn't just sweep packages past a scanner. Every single price had to be seen, remembered for a moment, and typed in by hand. A full cart meant a long sequence of tiny judgments. A smudged or torn price mark could slow the whole line. One wrong keystroke could change your total. And if the store dropped the price of canned peaches, someone might have to walk back to a shelf full of canned peaches and remark every one. Barcodes wiped out most of that repetition. The change made stores faster and made inventory far easier to control, but it also erased a familiar soundtrack: the snap of the pricing gun, the punch of register keys, and the steady rhythm of a cashier who genuinely knew half the prices by heart. Then there was the service that happened after you paid. In many supermarkets, especially the bigger ones, you could expect real help getting your groceries out of the building. Paper bags were packed with actual care, because a weak bag or a badly placed bottle could turn the walk to the car into a disaster. A bagger would load those sacks into a cart and wheel them outside for you. Some stores went even further with parcel pickup systems. Instead of pushing a heavy cart across a hot parking lot, you got a numbered tag. Your groceries stayed with store employees while you brought the car around to a loading area. Then the bags were matched to your number and lifted straight into your vehicle. It was a small system, but it reveals something important. Labor was built directly into the shopping experience. People were paid to make your trip easier. And the return trip could matter just as much. Milk and soft drinks often came in sturdy glass bottles valuable enough to bring back. Families saved the empties, carried them to the store, and got the deposit back or had it credited toward the next purchase. Those bottles then entered a whole loop of sorting, washing, refilling, and returning to the shelf. That system asked more from the customer. Glass was heavy. Empty bottles took up space in the kitchen. Somebody had to actually remember to bring them back. Disposable containers erased those little chores. They also helped products travel through much larger distribution systems. Convenience won, but the grocery trip stopped being a two-way exchange. Shoppers quit bringing part of yesterday's purchase back through the door. And that old front entrance? It could hold things that would look completely bizarre in a supermarket today. One of the strangest was the vacuum tube tester. Radios and televisions once ran on fragile glass tubes that could burn out. So a family member would pull a suspect tube from the set, carry it to the store, and drop it into a self-service testing machine. A dial or a needle told you whether the tube was still good. If it was dead, a replacement might be waiting in a little cabinet built right into the machine. Think about what that actually meant. A grocery run could double as a minor electronics repair errand. You didn't need a separate trip to a specialized shop just to find out whether one tiny component had failed. Your supermarket handled it. Then solid-state electronics replaced vacuum tubes, and almost overnight, the tester lost its entire reason to exist. Now, be honest with me, how many of you had no idea your grandparents were basically fixing the family TV in the middle of a grocery store? If this is blowing your mind even a little, that little subscribe button is right there. Tap it, because we've still got the coffee, the butcher's sawdust, and one machine you will not believe used to sit in a family store. Nearby, that same entrance might be entertaining a child. Coin-operated horses, tiny cars, and rocket-shaped rides gave parents a bargaining chip before or after a long shopping trip. For a kid, a single coin could turn the dullest adult errand of the week into a destination worth begging for. But the very same lobby could also hold something far less charming, a cigarette vending machine. Packs sat behind rows of mechanical buttons or pull knobs, available for a few coins with almost no supervision. That arrangement made a strange kind of sense in an era when tobacco was treated completely differently in public life. As health concerns and age restrictions tightened, easy self-service cigarettes sitting in a place full of children became impossible to justify. Those machines vanished for reasons totally different from the kiddie rides or the tube testers, but together, they show just how much social life was once packed into the few yards right inside the door. The strongest memories, though, usually came from deeper in the aisles, because old grocery shopping had sounds and smells that modern packaging has almost completely sealed away. Coffee is the perfect example. Some supermarkets kept big grinders where you could open a bag of whole beans, pour them into a metal hopper, choose your grind, and let the machine roar. And that smell did not stay politely by the coffee shelf. Freshly cracked beans announced themselves across half the store. That aroma was created by something you did. You picked the beans, worked the machine, listened to it grind, then carried home coffee that had been ground only moments before. Pre-ground vacuum packaging made that whole step unnecessary for most shoppers. The coffee got easier to buy. The store got quieter. The meat counter had its own lost world of work. Before trays of pre-cut meat took over the refrigerated cases, you were far more likely to talk directly to a butcher and ask for a specific cut, thickness, or amount. Knives, wrapping paper, scales, cutting blocks, and cold display cases were all part of a visible, hands-on craft. And in some older butcher shops and meat departments, sawdust was actually spread across the working floors to soak up moisture and grease and to keep people from slipping. It sounds shocking now because modern shoppers connect food safety with smooth, washable, spotless surfaces. But that sawdust belonged to an older system built around daily sweeping, constant replacement, and hands-on cutting. As sanitation standards, store design, and packaged meat all changed, that floor treatment vanished right along with most of the routine that once happened behind the counter. Put all these disappeared features side by side, and a pattern appears. Green stamps required paper, counting, redemption centers, and patience. Hand pricing required clerks touching thousands of individual products. Carryout service required employees whose actual job included walking your groceries to your car. Returnable bottles required customers and bottlers to complete a physical loop. Tube testers only mattered while household electronics were reparable in that specific way. Coffee grinders and butcher counters asked shoppers to take part in processes that packaging later moved somewhere out of sight. Modern supermarkets didn't erase all of this for one single reason. Some things vanished because technology replaced them. Some because labor got expensive. Some because packaging changed. Some because safety expectations and regulations changed. And some disappeared simply because shoppers chose speed and convenience the moment they were offered the option. It's easy to romanticize the old store because the memories are so sensory. Crinkling paper bags, glass bottles clinking in a wooden crate, the smell of coffee, the whir of a mechanical horse starting up by the door. But let's be fair, old grocery shopping could also be slower, heavier, and a lot less convenient. The interesting loss isn't that everything used to be better. It's that so many small tasks were once visible. Customers could actually see prices being marked, coffee being ground, meat being cut, bottles being returned, even a television part being tested right in front of them. Today, almost all of that work still exists somewhere, but it happens before the product ever reaches us. Behind a screen, inside a warehouse, deep in a distribution system we almost never see. The grocery store became more efficient by hiding the process. So here's my real question for you, and I genuinely read the replies. If you could bring back just one of these vanished grocery store features for a single week, which one would you choose, and which one are you more than happy to leave buried in the past? Drop your pick in the comments right now. The green stamps, the coffee grinder, the butcher, the tube tester, all of it's on the table. And if you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person this channel is made for. So hit subscribe and stick around, because the next story about how everyday American life really worked is already waiting for you.